Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tyler, and today you are lucky enough to be watching Everyday EDC. I feel like that was a Law and Order entry. Yeah, so that was the interesting, different entry. I didn't know I was going to do that until it came out of my mouth. Today we have the QSP Copperhead. Oh, the Copperhead. First and foremost, let's not even fuck around. Let's not even screw around with this action here. Oh, right? Hold on, let's do it again. Oh, so awesome. $60 freaking knife, first and foremost. $60 knife. The action on this is great. Yes, the blade's a little heavy, but that's okay. I mean, it's a $60 knife and it's just Jesus, right? I think I did spritz some frog lube on there, but it's not because it was jacked up. I did it because I wanted to see how good we can get it after a while. So let's get into some specs. We'll talk about this knife, and I will kind of go over some usual stuff. I don't know why I try to explain that every time like I'm going to do something crazy different. Screw you guys. You know, I feel all this judgment just spewing. I'm just kidding. All right, let's go over weight. 4.96 ounces. This is not a lightweight knife, but you're getting a lot for your buck here. So let's go over some blade stock thickness. 140 thousandths there. Was I doing that off screen? Yeah, probably like an idiot. 140 thousandths there for the blade stock. The behind the edge thickness is coming in at just about 20 thousandths. See if we can 20 thousandths. We're just going to go with 20 thousandths. Let's do some overall length. All right, so this thing's coming in at 8 1/4. The blade length's coming in at about 3 1/2, and the usable cutting edge is coming in at just about 3 1/2 as well. Last but not least, let's check some. The pivot is coming in at a T8. Yep, T8. Body screws, not T8. We're going to go with T6. I don't even feel like checking them. If they're lower than a T8, there's a like 99.9999% chance that it's T8 or T6. So let's talk about this guy a little bit after. Gotcha. After we do our size comparisons. So as you guys know, I do my size comparisons and I show a ton of size comparisons to let you guys know and see a knife that you may be familiar with. Not everybody has felt every knife. Not everybody has felt a lot of knives. Some of you guys buy one and you're maybe saving up for 6 months trying to justify spending your next 60, 70, 80, 100, $150 on your next one, right? So right here, we're looking at the two feldspar sandwich. 2 girls, 1 copperhead. We have the large feldspar coming in at about 1/8 of an inch shorter, maybe 1/4 of an inch shorter. The mini feldspar obviously being dwarfed, and both dirty as hell. They are dirty girls. The copperhead needs to have protection. Next, we have the Civivi Dogma and the Civivi Doris. Both knives of which are not extremely large. The Dogma coming in at a fairly large average size knife. The Dogma coming in at much smaller and fat. This one's a chode, this one's a pencil. And I don't know what is up with these references today. So this is about, the Dogma's about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch shorter, while the Doris is coming in at much shorter. You're probably looking at almost 1.5 inches shorter than the Copperhead. Put that into perspective, this Copperhead is a large knife, guys. If you couldn't tell by the 4.96 ounces that it weighed. Oh, God, fucking rat too. I'm going to smack you. All right, so here's your Rat Model 1 and your Rat Model 2. Your Rat Model 1 coming in at just about the same length. And I may have to do a battle between these two guys. And there's a surprise battle that I'm going to have to do. It's not really a surprise. I'm going to tell you about it before the end of the video. And last but not least, we have our Manix 2 and our Spyderco Astute. The Manix 2 coming in at maybe 1/2 inch shorter, and the Astute coming in at much less. You're getting much more cutting edge out of the Copperhead than both. Okay, now let's talk about this guy. First and foremost, this guy's coming in with 14C28N blade steel. If you watched my Revo Berserk video, I talked about this blade steel. Between this and 9CR18MOV, I ended up trying to chop a wire, and what the result was is this steel rolled while the Revo Berserk steel chipped. Okay, this is the 9CR. The Copperhead is the 14C28N. The long story short is 14C28N, in my opinion, is a little bit softer. Maybe that's due to heat treat. The chemistry behind it kind of shows that it's a little bit softer, no vanadium, and a little bit less carbon content, but both of them don't really have much. This has got about 14% chromium and some other assorted miscellaneous things, including nitrogen, which helps with the bonding and machining and stuff. So that's very layman terms. You're not getting this from a metallurgist. You're getting this from a guy who does work in an industry where I have to use chemistries, but I am by no means astute when it comes to steel. I am an aluminum guy for trade. And so this is a little bit softer steel. Now, does that mean it's not going to retain its edge? No. I tried to freaking cut like a 3/16 thick wire. I mean, steel wire. Duh. It's just a story that I want to share with you guys. Next thing to note, we're going to take a look at this fit and finish here. Take a look all the way around. Now, let's take a look here. I did say there was some blade play when I pulled it out, and I said it was like microscopic to the point where if you think there's blade play but you're not sure, that's the way it feels. I said that and I meant it because I wasn't sure if there was any, and I still don't feel any. Like, I kind of, if you push it hard enough, you can feel a little, but there's no blade plate side to side. There's definitely no blade plate forward and back, and I'm going to show you why there's no blade plate forward and back. This is super cool. This thing's got internal stops. All right, let's see here. See that? And so it stops and gets stuck, not stuck, but it stops in this side of the liner, and then when you open it up fully, it locks into this side, which is pretty sweet. I mean, it's a super solid lockup, and it feels solid, and not to mention, listen. Right? Awesome. If we take a look here, these liners are milled out, which is nice. We got this G10, I'm assuming, backspacer here. The handles are contoured G10, which is really nice. We have some jimping here that doesn't really mean too much. We have some jimping here that I'm just now noticing, and I don't know that I notice it when it's in hand. We got some jimping up here on the blade that I can put my hand on, and I can't say that it's functional, but it's right where your thumb wants to rest. So, and then last but not least, okay, the ergonomics on this guy. And I said last but not least, but I'm not done. The ergonomics on this guy, oh my goodness. For a $60 knife, when I picked this thing up out of the box, you guys saw, I was so impressed with the way it looked. This thing was friggin' awesome. The ergonomics, had I bought this for honestly, before I became a knife guy, if this was one knife that I bought, there is a very, very, very solid chance that I might not have even gone down the path of exploring other knives because I love this freaking knife. I talked about the Revo Berserk. I chose to carry the Revo Berserk over my Super Freak, not because I chose it over the Super Freak. It's just in that day I chose to, right? Shut up. But this is the same way. When I talked about the potential secret comparison we're doing with this guy, hint, hint, it is the Super Freak. I do not currently have the Super Freak in hand, but I can tell you, look up a picture of the Super Freak and then look up this. This is like the poor man's version of the Super Freak. And I think that's why I liked the Revo Berserk so much. It reminded me of a poor man's version of the Medford, right? I'm not even astute enough in Medfords to tell you which one, but it just reminded me of the physical look. Now, I've never touched one. You guys are going to correct me. I get it. They're awesome, and I would love to try one, but I don't have one. So, I'm not really sure what the circular I think this is a circular G10 thing going on here with the orange. I don't know. Ignore that. That's whatever. I think that's supposed to be because of the Copperhead, like the name. I think that's what that's supposed to be for. We do have a lanyard hole down here that is not emphasized on anything, which is nice. And you know, the way this is going to carry, it's going to follow the contour of your pocket, which is pretty cool. I mean, it's angled straight, kind of like at a 5-degree angle down this way if you're straight up and down, maybe a 10-degree. And so this is going to contour with your jeans, which is nice in your pocket because it is so large. And guys, I can't stress enough how impressive QSP has been in every single knife that I've held. This thing is phenomenal. If you're looking for a larger knife and you don't want to use like the Rat 1 because it's so overused and overplayed and everything, you want to be a hipster because not many people are talking about this. This QSP Copperhead, phenomenal. It truly is. The action's fantastic. The centering was perfect and still is, even after trying to beat the crap out of it. The ergonomics are just great. The pocket clip sucks. That's about the only thing I can talk crap on. You know, this lanyard hole, good, cool. Put it out of the way. Nobody cares. Contoured grips. They are G10, but they feel quality G10. They almost got a wood grain look in the middle, which is nice. And this blade is beastly, and I feel like there's nothing I can't do with this short of chopping through wire. You know, kind of going back to this real quick, I did have a conversation with one of the QSP reps, because I felt like this internal stop with the liners would make it a much stronger, not necessarily lockup, because your liner lock is going to do the lockup for you, but typically you're pushing back on your knife, right? And to me, it kind of made sense that, you know, when you're pushing through something or cutting, you know, it adds strength to the backside. Not that I don't think anybody has snapped theirs ever, but it was kind of cool to see, and how beefy this is. That's the way it felt. Unfortunately, the QSP rep did say that it was just basically the same as, you know, let's find one here. Basically the same as a liner like this, where it stops at that stop pin right there. Which is fine. You know, it was I was like, oh, sweet, I found out something. And he's like, no, that's not really what it's there for. It's just kind of the design the designer went with, and he doesn't really know why the designer went with that, but whatever. But I like it, and to me it feels stronger. His comment was, it's only as strong as the liner is, which these liners are pretty beefy in themselves. Just at its widest point, this thing's coming in at 0.6, but it's only for the contouring. You know, if it's not the contouring, you know, can I get a... Never mind. That's a dumb measurement. Anyways, the QSP Copperhead, guys. This knife is $60 on drop. The Revo Berserk was $45 on drop, but if you look them both up outside of drop, they're like $20 more. I think the Copperhead's coming in at $80. Just watch for it on drop. It'll probably come up again. Or there's a couple other knife sites out there. I think one is Chicago Knife Works, and they don't have too much, but the stuff they have, they're selling at drop prices, so that's pretty cool. But if you're looking for your bruiser-ish knife, I mean, you cannot go wrong with this. You can do the reverse flick. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. That's all I got for you guys. This is the QSP Copperhead. I have nothing to complain about other than the frickin' pocket clip. Even though I rolled the edge, so we got to give a little TLC. And to be 100% honest, I don't think I'm selling this one or getting rid of it. I like it that much. So thank you guys so much for watching. My name is Tyler. This has been Everyday EDC. You guys stay sharp, stay safe. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.